Hi everyone, hi guys. Today we will talk about talent analyzing. Today we will talk with my friend, with great entrepreneur from Netherlands, Jacco Stolker.
Thank you, Rassul.
We were talking about talents, we were talking about entrepreneurship, and you mentioned about how it is important to know yourself.
Yes, exactly.
So, can you tell a bit more about talents, about your perception in terms of talents?
Yeah, actually, when people know their talents, they know their strengths.
Yeah.
And they also know their pitfalls. And if they know their talents, they can make decisions based on it.
Yes.
Like right now, it's very hot to become entrepreneur and working in startups. But I believe that not everybody has the talent to be entrepreneur and to work for your own risk or to work in a startup. But probably you have not all talents, you have a few of the talents. If you know your talents, you know the risks, you know your power. If you can use your strong talents, you get energy of it and you can develop something based on who you are, based on your personality of talents.
Okay, so we know in terms of business that some company they do some kind of SWOT analysis.
Yes.
As I understood you, can we say that this process, I don't know, results, I don't know how to say it, researching, I mean talent analyzing, know your talents, it's like SWOT analysis for company, but this is like a personal SWOT analysis, no?
In a certain way, yes. SWOT analysis is partly inside. I mean, this is the strength and the weaknesses, and opportunities and threats are outside the company, so outside yourself. So let's say it shows your strong talents, where your possibilities are, where your abilities are, where you get energy from, but also, yes, probably the things to avoid. Because if you know your small talents, you know what to avoid. And things to avoid are the things that you don't get energy from, and that are basically your small talents, yes.
So if you want to know yourself exactly who you are,
yes,
it's like a starting point.
yeah.
And if you want to do some business or to, I don't know, to start up some business or to be entrepreneur, you know, it's like a fashion trend.
Yeah.
To be entrepreneur today is like a trend.
Yes.
So your point is, first step, you should know your ability to make business, and in these terms, talent, if you know your talent, it can be a very helpful tool for you.
Yeah, also for selecting partners, because sometimes it's better to work together if you miss a certain strong talent. Like so, but if you go back to what a talent really is,
yes,
a talent is a combination between who you are, where you get energy from, and your potential. So your potential is what can you develop? What kind of talents can you develop? So it's not a competency. Competency is something you can already. In the talent analysis, we never say you are good at something. No, you have the talent for this, and older people or people who have some life experience, they already develop the talent. Younger people can use the knowledge about their talents to make choices, what kind of study to follow, what kind of professional career to follow. So it's basically the essence of you as a person.
Jacco, it's very fascinating conversation we have right now, and my next question is there any difference between just talent and talent in terms of what we are talking about?
We are talking about here, it's a very good question, Rassul, that you ask it. We're talking here about core talents.
Core talents.
Core talents. And the core talents is the essence of who we are, like the core, the inner part of somebody's personality. And a core talent, in our terminology, consists of three different things. It's who you are, your characteristics, your personality, that is one thing.
Yes.
The second thing is your potential. What can you develop? What's the ability to develop in you as a person?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of direction can I develop? Can I develop as an entrepreneur, for instance? Or doesn't it fit with my talents, my strong core talents? The other one is internal motivation, your intrinsic motivation. What motivates me? From what do I get happy? And it's very relevant, because if you see that at this moment, like 30-40% of people go to work without energy. They don't enjoy what they are doing. So and if you ask them, okay, do where you get energy from, and they don't know it. Some people don't realize what their talents are and what gives them energy. And with our core talent analysis, we help people to discover themselves and to make choices based on this discovery.
Okay, just to clarify, you mentioned that there is 3 parts of core talents, right?
Exactly. Yes.
So the first criteria is who you are, right?
Yeah, your nature.
Your nature.
Yes.
Your nature. The second criteria is
Potential.
your potential,
Yes.
and the third
Is your intrinsic motivation. The
your
motivation.
intrinsic motivation.
Yeah. What makes you happy? Your drive. What drives you in this world?
Okay, it's like a reason what makes you to achieve some goals.
Yeah.
Okay, my question is in terms of core talents, is there any secret ingredient that you apply for talent analyzing? Maybe you can tell us about methodology, how it works.
Yeah, of course, I can tell, but there's one thing important. This talent analysis we do for individual people to help them to make choices. Mm-hmm. We also work for corporate clients, and probably we can speak about it later. But the secret or the essence of our methodology is that we go back to the childhood of a person.
Wow.
And basically the key question is, what did you like, or how did you like to play as a child? And there is our interview based at. And in the beginning, when I heard it for the first time, I thought, hey guys, come on, let's talk business. But when I experienced it, I realized that it is a perfect indication of your core talents. So we go back with people to the moment they were children,
yes.
between the 4th year and the 12th year. And then we ask the question, what did you like to do as a child? And of course, based on different kind of behavior, different kind of games and how children play. And we do it very broad, about sport, about pets, do you have a dog or not, did you have a dog or not, about did you like drawing and all that kind of things. So when we do the interview, then people, they get this mainly happy memories, and they go back to, oh yes, I remember, that was great. And we are trained to listen to certain things that people say about their childhood, and together with the client, we write it down. We rate it. How much did you like it? For instance, playing with Lego. Did you play with Lego? Oh yes, I love playing with Lego. I built houses and bridges. And how much did you like it? 100. Okay, write down. Lego 100. And so we go through 23 core talents.
So there are 23 core talents.
Exactly.
Each person has.
Each person has in a certain level 23 core talents, but you can have it in the level small, half, or strong. And the strong talent, that drives you, that makes you happy, that's something you need to work with. So if you, for instance, have the strong talent, let's say functional creativity, you want to use this core talent in practice. You need to find a job or a hobby or something like that where you can practice this functional creativity. So a strong talent is a deep need of somebody. If these deep needs are not met, so if you have several strong talents but you don't use it in your work, you cannot use it privately, then you're becoming bored and you lose your energy.
Yes, of course, it's obvious. Jacco, another interesting question is how your customers bring the report from you. So is it, result of CoreTalent analysis is like, paper, or is a presentation or PDF file or something tangible or intangible? Can you tell us more about the results, how people get it?
Yes. So basically what we are delivering is a printed report, sometimes a digital report, and that's quite a big report. It's around between 35 to 45 pages. Wow. Because we report, first of all, in clusters of talents. So we report about creativity. It's a cluster of 3 different core talents. We report about sociability, what kind of team worker are you. We report about empathy. We report about leadership with several clusters of talents. So we group talents, and in this cluster, in these groups of core talents, we also report about what a person's needs are. What is important for this person to be fulfilled in his working life or in his private life. A person who has a strong talent for initiative and autonomy, if this person has a manager who tells him or her exactly what to do, now you do this and that, it doesn't fit with this person. This person needs basically a word. This should be organized, and then he or she should be able to make choices himself. So what kind of needs do people have in their professional lives? What kind of things play a key role? For some people, they need social contact. If you lock them in an office, they get crazy because they need this personal interaction.
Yes.
For some other people, they definitely hate it to be in the spotlight. For them, it's very difficult if they are in the spotlight. So they need to avoid, and they will cost to cost try to avoid being in the spotlight. So we make clear what are the needs and what are the special points of attention related to your core talents. We also report about what kind of job fits you, what kind of direction can you develop. So it goes pretty far. We report about more than 16 clusters of different talents, commerciality, etc. We make also a kind of a personal chapter where we translate the results of the full core talent analysis into a kind of personal advice. That takes 35 pages, and besides that, people can always ask us, like, okay, I'm applying for a job, does it fit with my talents? And we learn people how to translate your talents into a search for a new job or into choices for your future.
Yeah, that's crucial moment. Yeah. So this kind of report consists of some kind of recommendations. What should you do or not to avoid some maybe negative things in your life? Yeah. In terms of job, in terms of business, or maybe should you be an entrepreneur? You know, a lot of people who are in corporate business as a top manager or other kind of manager as an employee, they really dream about their own business.
Yes.
But maybe they don't have ability. So in this report, they can find a lot of answer about themselves, right?
Yes. But like, we never say to people, you don't have the ability. The thing is, it's a positive thing. The report is always positive. We tell, it doesn't give you energy, and it doesn't make you happy. Some people, they simply will not be happy if they, as an entrepreneur, need to take the risk, put probably their whole life into a company. They will never be happy by doing that. And some people, they want to become entrepreneur and they do everything to become entrepreneur, but forget about certain talents that you also need. Like if you, for instance, you're not client oriented at all, or if you do not have the core talents related to sales and commerciality, then it's good to start a company, but find somebody who has this commercial drive and who can support you. So it's never like you cannot do that. We advise people that at the long term it will not give them energy and it will not bring them the happiness they dream about. That's the thing.
Okay. Jacco, so based on your experience, how many talents, core talents, each of us has?
Yeah. So each person has, in a certain way, 23 talents, because there are not more than 23 core talents, but the number of strong core talents a person has really depends on from person to person. Sometimes 5, sometimes 7, sometimes 12. I've seen people even with 19 talents, but the thing that we should take into consideration, it is not the more the better. It's absolutely not true. The happiness comes from if you can use your strong talents. Because every strong talent is a ball. You have to keep them all in the air.
Yes.
If you have 5 balls to keep in the air, it's okay. If you have 7, it's okay. 10, I think I have 12 strong core talents. Mm-hmm. I can satisfy my needs because I'm an entrepreneur, I live a dynamic life. But if you have 20 talents or 19 or 18 talents, so it means that you need to satisfy 18 different type of needs. And these people, they probably do not sleep that much. And I've seen them who really, for them a day was not enough. They sleep 4 or 5 hours because they are creative, they're entrepreneurial, they're social, they're outgoing, they have everything. So what people should understand, it's not a measurement system, like how many strong talents do you have? 12, oh, I have 15, so I'm better than you. Not at all, it doesn't matter. The key is use your strong core talents. Try to put it in practice, and I guarantee if you have one strong core talent and you can live from the strong core talent, you're a very happy person. So that's the essence. So it's never, and we advise when we analyze teams, don't compare and say, oh, you have 10, I have 14. Not important at all.
Okay, just to clarify for our friends. So guys, there are 23 core talents that Jacco and his company can analyze. And again, core talents analysis is not about quantity, so it's qualitative analysis.
If you find these qualities, no matter how many qualities or core talents a person has, but if you are able to put this person in his strengths, or put yourself in your strengths, then you have a win-win situation for companies, for people. Guaranteed success, guaranteed. I don't promise, I guarantee.
Wow, that's a great slogan. I should remember it.
Yeah, no, but it's true.
Yeah,
definitely.
There are 2 directions: personal usage for I mean for a person as a physical.
Yes.
And for business.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So is there any difference in these 2 directions or no?
Basically, the 2 different types of clients, but they have different needs. Like a company who wants to hire, let's say, a manager, a leader, for instance, to build a new branch in a new city, something like that. So this company wants to know, does this person have the potential to be that leader? Does he have leadership core talents? Is he able to motivate people, to pull people forward? Does he have the interpersonal core talents. So and we know that a resume or a CV is always looking back, and companies are. It's nice that they know it, but they want to look forward. Does this person have the potential to be the leader we are searching for, or the entrepreneur within our company to build this new branch in this city, or to start up in a new country? So these companies come to us and ask, okay, do a talent analysis, and can you advise us about these people core talents in relation to the job as a leader, manager for this type of job? And we advise them. So we, for instance, we can analyze, let's say, 10 people, and out of these 10 people, probably 3 exactly match the profile. We first make the profile, and then match the profile, and then they can choose out of the 3 persons the person who matches them the most. It also to replace people within a company. If somebody, does he have the potential to grow to management position or not? We work with a person for 5 years, can we make him manager or not? Now, and if somebody doesn't have the strong core talents related to management or leadership, then you should know that.
Of course. And you mentioned quite important thing, quite crucial. You mentioned that CV as a resume is all about the past of a person, of a candidate.
Exactly.
And as you know, I'm working in fashion industry.
Yes.
So in fashion industry we have one interesting process. It's like trend forecasting.
Yes.
When you try to foresee what the future will be, you know?
Exactly.
Can I say that in terms of human resources,
yes,
it's like forecasting the future?
Yes.
Is it right or wrong?
Yes, it's right, exactly, because I think probably in fashion you need to have people who are creative, for instance, but it is not enough if you're only creative. I think if you want to be successful in fashion, you should have certain kind of creativeness, but also probably be proactive and be curious. One of the things this week, the new Harvard Business Review, there's a part about curiosity. Companies want people who are curious. If you work in fashion industry, you want to monitor all the trends, what's happening in the world. Are these people curious enough? Are they creative enough? And so you can make a kind of a core talent blueprint for the people in a certain direction in the fashion industry, definitely. So, and we never report about single talents, single core talents. We always combine talents. So with creativity, we have the functional creativity. We have the aesthetic creativity, very important also in fashion industry. Unless you probably make working clothes, but I'm not sure about that. You know more. You know more about it than I do. And you have the mental creativity.
Yes.
So your mental, your fantasy, the ability to completely think without boxes, without any limits.
Jacco, I see talent analysis. It's very crucial for fashion industry. I can see it personally. That's why I mentioned fashion industry. I can explain you why.
Okay.
You know, in this kind of interesting field like fashion, you should combine creativity and business approaches. And sometimes, if you don't have as a person, as a creative director, these two combination, for sure, for 100%, the company will fail.
Yes.
So, and for me it's very interesting now to see how talent analysis, how your methodology, how your company can be really helpful to predict somehow, know the candidate, is he able to manage the company as well as the creative process?
Yes.
So, do you have some successful cases that you can share with us?
Every talent analysis we did is a success, and that's something. Looking back at our practice, and we related to companies. Yes, we had several successes. We did, for instance, at a certain bank in the Netherlands a research for the talent profile of agile coaches. Now, agile coach is something. It's a certain job related to agile working. It's a modern way of working, and this kind of job profile is quite new. And we developed a core talent profile, especially for agile coaches, so it helps them to select the right agile coach. So that is one thing. We helped, we supported entrepreneurs, we supported companies with hiring people. So yeah, there are many successes. Yeah.
Is your methodology work on distance, or is it very important to make it, you know, like face to face?
Yeah. Basically, the golden rule is always face to face, and preferably live when sitting in the same room where I want to be able to look a person in his or her eyes, because the facial expression tells exactly if somebody likes it or not. I see people shining when they speak about what they did as a child, and sometimes I see their faces, I see emotions on their faces, sometimes when it was difficult or when they had some bad experiences, so I want to see their faces. On the other hand, if there is a person far away who wants to do the talent analysis, if I jump in the plane and fly to another country, that makes it very expensive. So we have a system right now based on Skype or on other applications where we use a camera. That's a requirement number one. We should have a camera, and based on these facilities, I can see people, and then we can do it just on Skype. We have experience with it. I did several analyses from people far away, and it doesn't influence the results. Still, I personally, as a talent analyst, prefer to be in the same room with this person, because you create a certain dynamic. That's essential.
Yes. When I heard that there is some methodology that then you can predict, or you can have attempt to forecast the human's behavior, I was like, wow, please, Jacco, tell me more about it. So,
but I want to be critical, Rassul, because I was critical about our methodology, and I expect people also to be critical. There are many talent analyzers in the world. There are a lot. And when I made the choice to develop a business around this methodology, I clearly understood the difference between the existing talent analyzers and what we are doing with the core talent analyzers. And the difference is that we focus on a long period of time, between 4 and 12, and we focus on effective behavior. It's not an online test. We don't do any online testing. It's just what you really did and how much you liked it. So not what if, do you like Friday better than Saturday? Are you a morning person or an evening person? It is about what you really did. And another very powerful thing is that the outcome is valid lifelong. It doesn't change, because how you played as a child will never change, because this period is behind you. So the outcome is valid for the rest of your life, and try to buy a single product or a single service that is valid for the rest of your life. And there's one more very important thing. It doesn't depend on the culture. So it's not something from Europe, it's developed here in Western Europe, but we analyze people from Ukraine, from Russia, from Kazakhstan, and it's not about Lego, but it's about building something. If you don't have Lego, you use something else. A child who doesn't have pencils will use something else to make a drawing. Because a child, if it has the desire to play, it finds a way to play. If it doesn't have a nice leather football, they find something else to play soccer. You understand? So it doesn't depend on culture. And so for international companies who are going abroad and trying to select the right potential, it's a very useful tool. And so the differences between existing systems and our core talent analysis are so big, and so I saw the potential and I said, okay, this is something I want to bring to the market and I want to give to the world.
Well, that's amazing, Jacco, because you mentioned international company, and I was thinking right now while you were talking, I was like, yes, that's so true, because in big international company you have such a problem with intercultural relationship.
Yeah.
And it's like, people who have different culture, heritage, they have different perception that can really affect on business results.
Yeah.
I think this is a really, really great competitive advantage.
It is. That's definitely the reason why I choose to start with our company. And to be clear, we are not the developers of the methodology. The methodology has been developed in Belgium by a very smart lady called Danielle Krekels, who, based on research of 15 years, more than 10,000 people have been analyzed.
Wow.
And she developed this methodology, and when I found out about the methodology, I was so surprised, and when I experienced it myself, I thought that this is so great. So it's not something we develop, it's not what one or two people do, it's a system that is growing in Western Europe and international, and I really hope that it will spread strong internationally.
Yes, Jacco, thank you very much for this very, very, I think, great conversation. That you kindly answered of all my stupid questions.
No, you ask, I think, the great questions, Rassul. So
I want to wish you all the best. I want to wish really success with your CoreTalent analysis company, and good luck. Thank you very much, Jacco.
Thank you very much, Rassul. Thank you.
Guys, and this is my advice. If you want to know yourself 100%, if you want to know who you are, or you are entrepreneur, or you work on a top manager position or HR manager position in one big company, you should try this CoreTalent analysis, because you heard this is very, very fascinating. Right, Jacco?
Completely agree, Rassul. Thanks.
Thank you. If you have a question, please comment under this video. Bye-bye.
Bye.